Hi, this is Lady Lex UK and this is Game Mechanics. We're still doing Lego today, and for our final game mechanic for Lego, I'm going to do the object finding mechanic. In Pirates of the Caribbean Lego, it's the Jack Sparrow's compass. I think it's called other things in other versions of the game, but basically you stand in an area like this, you press B, and some footprints tell you where you need to go in order to find the hidden object, which is marked by an X. Press B and then it tells you need to dig it up. Press B again, it rises out of the ground, and then I can pick it up. There we go. So that's the mechanic we're going to recreate today. It's a little complicated, so let's start off with our a marker here. Now you can use any special effect that you like for the marker. I quite like this circular thing, but unfortunately I didn't like it moving, so I've changed that. Now first of all, if you're going to be using any of the control buttons, you'll need to put a call page 2 in on the first page. This stops any enemies from attacking your props instead of attacking your character. So we do that just so that this doesn't become a player prop. Okay, so on page 2 I've got a countdown timer of 45 frames, and then I've set the pace to 0, and that gets me my circle without actually it moving. Occasionally it doesn't appear correctly, so you might want to use a shape that doesn't change. I think the demon summoning one stays in the circle. There are some energy spheres, but they're rather large, so it's up to you. Experiment with some of the special effects and see what you get. Right, so when you bump player, so when the player is standing on you, then we're going to say our player equals it, and when B is pressed, we're going to set action to be true. When action is true, our player's pace will be 0.5, and when you press B again, that action will be false. And for each of our steps, the action will be false. Otherwise, for each of the steps, the action will be true. And when completed each of the steps, the action will be false. So this is the effect of powering off our special effects. And we'll set our player's pace back to 1 once completed. Right, so that's the brain for the thing that sets you off. Here are the steps. They are all identical. So once that gizmo, the special effect that you stand on, object set steps, is incremented by me, so that's, you saw that in the brain, and power is off to start with. When action is true, so remember we set the action to be true on all of these steps, detect player, power on. So if action is true and you detect the player, power on will turn on that special effect, otherwise it's going to stay off, and that's it. That's all it does. So if it detects the player, it will turn the effect on. And this is let's just show you. This is I think the transparent, but dot fuzzy is blue and dot sharp is clear, so you get a circle. I probably should have used it for this as well, a different colour, but hey. You live and learn once you start making these things. Okay, so there's our steps, and I've put them at staggered sort of footsteppy things to where we want it to be. Now there is no X shape prop, so I've used 2 projectile props instead, and they're power linked together, as you can see. So that brain has got nothing in, but this one does. So in this brain it says once power off, so it starts off with the power off, When the FX gizmo is not complete and you detect the teddy bear, which is our character, player character, you could put player in there. Well, yeah, you could put player in there. Then we'll turn our power on. When our teddy, we'll put our teddy pace to 1 once you get close to the once you get close, and otherwise it's going to be powered off. When it has power and you press B, we're going to turn the power off on our little cross, and then we're going to create a wooden crate at the position of the logic cube, which is at the far up, which is sort of embedded into the ground. And then we're going to say the FX gizmo completed equals true. So all of those footsteps are now turned off as well. And we're going to create this crate, and in this crate it says, that's just for me, right, started to start equals position, and that's set a vector of where its starting position is. And when it's not completed, it's going to play a dirt plume at the position of that cross, and a scale of 0.5 because it was a bit bigger at scale of 1. And then we're going to set a number variable called raise to be 0, and when you press the B, that raise is going to increment by 0.001 every frame. If you release the B button, then we're going to set that back to 0, and we're going to set the position of the box back down to 0. So the effect of this, until that number is greater than or equal to 0.05, we're going to raise the box out of the ground. So it's going to be position Y plus that number, that raised number. And when that number is greater than 5, then we'll say completed equals true. And when completed is true, we're going to turn the interaction on, and you can pick it up. So it will stop raising out of the ground, and then it will put an interact button on there so that you can pick it up. And there we go, that's it. So that makes your cross there, and there's your logic cube position where your box is going to start before you raise it out of the ground. There you go. A little complicated, a little few brains involved in that, but there you go. That's how you do a Lego compass search for an object. Okay, thanks for watching, and keep sparking.